Hey guys, Michael here from Jackal123. Today I'm bringing you a video which was heavily requested after my bad guy but only using Fortnite emote sounds exploded into your recommended feeds. The song Crab Rave by Noisestorm was a big favourite, so I've gone ahead and recreated it in the same way as my previous two uploads. A handful of you criticised me that the sounds I used in the bad guy video were not real Fortnite sounds, so to prove to you that they are legit, I'll be walking you through the process of how this video was made. If you're not interested in that and just came here for the finished masterpiece, go to the timecode on the screen now. The first step in recreating any piece of music in any form on this channel is to transcribe it, that is, figure out what the older notes are. To do this, I use Minecraft Noteblock Studio. Why, you ask? Because I've been making Minecraft Noteblock songs for over 5 years now, and its workspace allows me to easily place notes and read from them afterwards. Just a quick rundown of this process. I start with the percussion, followed by either the bass line or the chords, whichever comes first, and then finally I transcribe the melody, which in this case is the most important part. All of this can be seen happening on the screen right now, but I've shortened it to keep the video short, obviously. The whole process for this video did take about 15 hours after all. Once I've written out all the notes, I move over to Sony Vegas Pro to edit together older audio. The reason I use Vegas Pro rather than a proper digital audio workstation is to allow the ease of snapping each video clip to the audio parts after the audio is completed. Anyways, I start by planning out the layers I need by referring to my Noteblock transcription on my other screen of my dual monitor setup. Weird flex, I know. Planning always helps me when I get stuck on what to do next, as it allows me to fall back onto something rather than just an empty mind. Similarly to the original transcription, I proceed this process by laying out the opening percussion parts. I use the Take 14 emote sound for the snap on beats 1 and 3, the click emote for 2 and 4, as well as the short offbeat click sound, and finally Thanos' snap to emphasize beats 2 and 4. This allows everything to be perfectly balanced, as all things should be. Next comes the light semiquaver tapping noise, which conveniently works well as the Jubilation emote's audio. Altogether, that sounds like this. Now for the harmonic synth sound. I achieve this by using the trusty old sad trombone emote's versatile melodic sound. This may be where people were thrown off from the legitimate sounds, but I pitch raised and lowered the original audio from the last trombone slide of the emote to create a range of pitches to use. After a bit of editing, I noticed that a half beat long fast fade in allowed me to achieve the desired synth sound effect that Crab Rave is well known for. The next part of the song was a tricky one, as I was forced to use the giant piano sound rather than an emote sound. This is due to the lack of emotes that give off a sound capable of being played over 2 octaves. In the end, I was able to replicate the short staccato piano chords to a pretty decent standard. Underneath these chords is a hi-hat playing on every downbeat, followed by a snare drum build up to the drop or chorus. These were tricky sounds to replicate, however I found that the sound of a player lighting the fuse in the sparkler emote gives a convincing hi-hat sound. As for the snare sound, I overlaid the slow clap emote, you'll know what that sounds like, with a short sample of the salute emote. Together they sound like a short, snappy snare drum hit, like so. Much like my previous 2 videos, I used the ground pound emote as a bass or kick drum, since that's exactly what it sounds like. I also added a small track EQ to it to remove some of the higher frequencies and give it more of a bassy feel. Once again, these are still all the in-game sounds, just with some slight pitch alterations. For the melody, I had trouble deciding on what sound to use. In my last 2 uploads, I've used the red card emote for the melodies, however after receiving quite a bit of backlash for that, I've decided to change things up. I've used the sad trombone emote once again, just pitched raised a couple of octaves to achieve the sound in the original song. It's not ideal, but it will have to do. Underneath is the deep, low bass line. Fittingly, the well-known T-pose emote also has a deep, low hum to it, which is perfect for the job. I cut a small 1-second sample of it, chucked it into Audacity, and applied a couple of effects to it. Namely, these were a low-pass filter just to get rid of any unwanted high frequencies, and a pitch changer to, you guessed it, lower and raise the pitch to fit the bass line. This is what the sample of the T-pose emote sounds like for reference. The final part of the project, and by far the most important, is the classic default dance melody. I included it in the Bad Guy video and it seemed to be a hit, so I've put it in this one too. There's nothing complicated about this part. I just sampled the melody from the original Emote audio track and put it down a minor third interval to match with the key of Crab Rave. And with that, the audio is done. Now all I have to do is edit layers upon layers upon layers of video clips of each emote to create the visuals for this short piece of work. It's a pretty painfully long process, so I won't bore you with it. But anyways, I hope you've been enlightened by all of this and now understand how these videos are made, and more importantly, how the sounds are in fact all from Fortnite emotes, aside from the piano. If you want to see more of this content or just good content in general, first check out my other videos and then consider subscribing. Get that bell on too so you don't miss any future uploads. Now without further ado, here is the finished product. Enjoy.